And we're live. Welcome, everyone, to the Designers Show on this lovely Friday afternoon or morning, depending on where you are. So how you guys doing today? We have,
Great.
I'm
How are
doing
you?
good.
I'm doing great. So we got Renee, John, and Robin on with us. I don't know if Kevin will be here. He said he would, I think.
Congratulations, Bruce. How's the Pro Plan working for you?
Oh, nice. Yeah, he just bought it.
Cool.
Congratulations, Bruce.
So he just bought it. So he hadn't had a chance to dig into it yet?
Probably not.
Okay, awesome. So Renee, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Pro Plan? I started developing templates, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, and then commercialized it maybe a year and a half ago. Started selling the first version of it. It's gone through probably about 500 changes over the years, and big changes for X16 because we've got some new capabilities under the hood that I don't think Chief really pushed that much, but some of the power users make use of it. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm doing.
In going through some of the new features they've been adding. It's just like, boy, they have added some new things under the hood to make this program work better. So it's pretty cool. So how do people get a hold of your Pro Plan? Your
rabbitdesign.net, rabbit with 2 B's, 2 T's, and design.net. So
cool.
It's in our shop. There's a shop heading on the website.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome, you guys. So yeah, check that out. Renee works really hard on this stuff, and I've got my basic template that I still give everybody that works good for basic stuff. But if you want to really dig into Chief and take it to that next level, you need to check out Renee's stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yes. So
thanks, guys.
Hey, cool. We got some familiar names on here. Richard, how you doing? Cassidy, hi.
Richard.
Wendy, hello. Paul, Aaron,
Hi,
Kenny,
Kenny.
of course.
Bruce, Mike,
Aaron.
Michael.
Are we seeing Kenny at the summit this coming year?
I don't know.
That's what
It's
I
up to
heard.
Kenny, I guess. And speaking of the summit, let me share my screen real quick. Your screen. Where am I here? You're right here. So speaking of summit, if you go to the Chief Experts website, chiefexperts.com, and right on the first page, you'll see a little button to go and check out our information on the summit page. So it's all set up, ready to go. We'll be making some changes to this page, adding some things to it. Got some cool things that I'm working on. I know Renee's working on some cool things. There's some changes coming that are going to be really exciting for this group. So it'll be really cool. But in the meantime, if you're interested, by all means, just scroll down the page, check it out. If you have questions, please give me a call. My number's at the bottom of the page here, or you can email me. I'd be happy to talk to you. And it's quite an event. So we're pretty thrilled with it. We're excited for the coming year and just looking forward to it. It's amazing. I think we had 10 people sign up that have been at the last summit. So that's a little bit right there.
And if you're curious about people's reactions to the summit, not everyone sees every post that's ever posted, although it seems like it sometimes. There are some great testimonials from the people who attended this last year, maybe even from the ones the previous year, but certainly there's testimonials you can find online on the Facebook posts and LinkedIn posts, I think. Take a look at those and you can get firsthand views how that goes. Sorry about the dog.
That's okay.
Dan, do you want to answer this question quick?
What is that question?
Is Summit intermediate and advanced only, or will there be a beginner class?
There'll be a beginner class.
We cover all levels at the summit.
Yep.
So if you're brand new to the program, you'll be in there spending time with John and Robin, learning the program from scratch. Plus, during all the other times, you'll have times to ask lots and lots of questions, and we'll get you up to speed. My class is more of an intermediate when I have a group in my room, and then Rene of course, would be he's going to be more your advanced type stuff, really digging into some of the things that we were just talking about as far as hidden features. So let me get out of that page. You don't need to keep looking
Definitely
at that.
for beginners as well, you guys. So if you
Absolutely,
have
yeah.
anybody, yeah, Aaron,
What-
if you're thinking of bringing somebody from your company who's a beginner, then we'd definitely be able to help them.
Yeah.
We'll definitely be able to get them up and moving.
So
One of the other things that people were surprised about and said that they were happy to find out, it was like icing on the cake, a little bonus when they attended, was that they had no idea they were going to get business exposure and business advice. We do that as well. Specifically, I do that as well, and can be everything from encouragement to specific answers to questions about how one goes about surviving and thriving in the design business. So,
yeah.
Check us out. We're kind of like a one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. So, we spend our days talking about Chief Architect, and we spend our evenings talking about the business of design. Although we do mix some things in during the day about business.
It
So,
gets mixed in.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I think we've developed a pretty good format for this event. Anywho, people are here to talk about Chief Architect today. So we're talking about the new features in Chief Architect X16. And last week we started out in of the list of about 50 items, we made it through 17. So we've got a little ways to go here, and I'm anticipating there will be another session on this. So we're going to go through some of these pretty quickly. If you are still inclined, on the page that you may be watching this show, there's some links below the video that let's see. Let me share my screen again.
Thank you, Chad, for reminding it. And we do sing.
Not
What
very
was
well,
that?
but
Some
yeah.
better than others, but we do sing.
Not very well,
We
but we
sing.
try.
Nice.
Let's see. Where's my screen? Oh, my screen is still here. There we go. Let me get to the right page. So if you're on this page right now, you'll see some links here. There's a update, this X16 update PDF that you can open and look at. And then if you go to the Chief Architect's webpage, they have a what's new page, and they've got some really good information on this page as well. So you should absolutely go to this page and go watch the little videos they've produced. Look at the list of items. They've got great images for some of the things that they've done. Really, they do such a nice job of demonstrating some of the new features they've added. So it's pretty exciting. Again, last week we ended the show, and Renee had commented that, or last time we did the show, Renee commented that after he really went through the new features, that really is quite a nice upgrade. So, because all those little things that we see add up to a nice upgrade. So it just adds up so much more functionality for us. So we left off with 17 railing newel spacing. Now, when you do, let me just comment about dimensioning railings. So when you do railings and you put them in your plan, by default, those railings are set up as no locate. So the auto dimensioning won't dimension them. So we could turn the no locate off on the railings. And then when you do an auto dimension, it's going to dimension the railings now. Now there is another setting in dimensions I want to point out. I'm in the half inch. Let me get to the quarter. I want to point out that if you double click on the ruler icon, there is a new setting in here to dimension newel centers and sides. So if we turn on other objects, we'll turn off the electrical, and then we'll turn those on. So let's see if I haven't even tried this yet. Does the auto dimensioning do that? It does not. So it looks like we have to add those. Yeah. So when we do a manual dimension, so I probably don't want to turn both centers and sides on, do one or the other. So and you can set those up for each type of dimensioning that you're going to use. So that's kind of new too. That is new. And that's actually quite nice to be able to do that. So that when I run my dimension through here, it's going to dimension the newels. Then I could click on the newels by highlighting. I'm clicking right on top of the newel, and I'm going to click on this little icon down here that allows me to move the newel to select it. And then I could click on the dimension and type in exactly where I want to move it to. So that's really
a little
nice.
bit of out of the box thinking is, we always say Chief Architect is a tool to create the thing that you want to create. So a newel is just something that can be dimensioned within a railing. You could bake it and say that a newel is actually a baluster and dimension your balusters if you wanted to, right? Like, because we have the capability of dimensioning to a thing within a railing now.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Oh.
think we dimension. We can't dimension to the
Can't
baluster.
dimension balusters, but you could essentially set up your newels to look like balusters.
Yeah,
instead.
and just put your newels every 5 inches and have no balusters, and so you could dimension every one of them if you really wanted to. Of course, why would you want to do that?
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know.
Well, because a railing doesn't need to be a railing. A baluster is just a millwork symbol. Millwork symbol could be Kevin Transu.
And it is.
And has been.
Yes. Okay, we won't go there. Anyway, so it's a little bit about that. And the other cool thing, you can do that all in 3D as well. So I don't know, did we talk about 3D dimensioning yet? I don't remember if that was last week.
Not
last
really.
time.
We didn't really get
This
into
is
that.
that coming up, so we'll wait to do that then. So, because 3D dimension is pretty cool. You can add newels as well. When you click on a railing, you can add them by clicking on the, let's see, where's the add newel button? Oh, I'm going to select a newel, and then I can add a newel. And then so it's basically going to make a copy of that same newel. So we have to look for the edit buttons over here that pop up once we select click on a newel button. Hope that makes sense.
And that
So you
that works
select-
really well in 3D too.
It does. So yeah, so in your 3D view, you can click on the railing, click on that. You've got different newels selected. I want to add a new one, so poof, pops it right in there. Then I could add a dimension, put it exactly in place.
So
Hello.
mute that.
Get those treats out, Kevin.
Kevin, you're gonna have to show us your dog at some point since she's wanting to be involved. We'll have to see what she looks like.
Yeah. So the only thing I didn't like about this new newel tool is we can't use different kinds of newels. So I can't put a short newel in with tall newels, like a post in this short.
Right.
So we
Like
still
an
have to have those.
intermediary, like
Yeah. So sometimes you'll have a plan where you've got, your posts and a beam coming through, and then you might have a post and a post, but you want a couple of short newels where your steps are. You can't do that. So we'd have to create an opening here. See, how would we do that? We'd have to create an opening here and add those newels separately. I think we
Then
could.
Well, you can do it by changing the wall type and then set that wall type. It
Oh, that's true. Yeah, break the railing, and I wonder how that would work.
works.
Does it work? Oh, cool. I've not tried that. So if we break the railing in a couple of spots and we just change it to a different railing type,
Then you could do that.
then we could change that railing type to a different. Why won't my brake work here? Come on. Whatever.
You do have to watch out for where you got end, like you've got right there. You end up with a double because you've got to watch out at end railings and start railing, or end newels and start newels.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But I could delete that one.
Exactly. Yes. Or you can turn it off for that wall section and say, I'm not doing end or start.
Oh,
newels.
there you go. Exactly.
Right.
So there are lots of options. So, it's kind of interesting thinking about how all this works. And when you look at the dialog box, especially like for railings, because railings are one of those things because there's so many options on what we can do in these dialogues now. And, it's just like, I always think of it, how do I control all these boxes? I want to add boxes, remove boxes. And that's how I think of everything in Chief Architect. It's just a bunch of boxes that we're putting in our plan, and Chief's creating some automatically, creating some manually. How do we control those boxes? And so if you look at these settings with the idea that you're controlling the boxes somehow, sometimes it makes it a little easier to make sense of some of this stuff. So, because again, there's getting to be so many different things. So when we look at rail style, post to a rail, these are different kinds of boxes. How do we control them, turn them on and off? So if you tend to take the part out of it that you're thinking about creating this fancy railing, and all you're doing is creating a bunch of boxes, and how do you control them? Sometimes that helps a little bit in the thought process of how you work these tools. That makes sense at all?
Well, I agree with, I think Bruce Robinson. Yeah, Bruce said this up in the chat, but I agree with him. I've been able to do some pretty crazy cool things with decks with the out of the box tools, and they're just getting better, you know. So what you do have to do is think out of the box. You've got to consider that for this particular location, I want things to look differently than that other location, even though from a major personality, they look the same. And then you can deal with them as small wall segments with different attributes, and you've got it.
Yeah. That all being said, I just did a porch the other day where I just do it all with slabs anyway, because I was having too much trouble getting everything to go in place. It's just quicker.
That works too.
Yeah, it works just fine. So whatever it takes, sometimes you just need to do that. And part of the reason I did that was because I'll actually show you real quick, since we're on this kind of stuff. That was this one right here. That was version 5. Here it is. So and again, I'm just in the mode of doing quick, down and dirty, get it done type stuff. But I needed to create a deal where I want the steps to come into the slab. So that created a little bit of, I wanted a beamer on the top, and I wanted to have steps into the porch. So I just did it all. These are foundation walls, but I did my slab. Everything's a slab. And it was just easier for me to control exactly where I wanted everything to be. So sometimes you just still have to do that. I still created a room, and I named it a porch, but I created everything else out of slabs. So these kind of stairs are a little tricky when we're coming into creating this kind of a look. So anyway.
Looks great though.
Yeah, it turned out nice. And it wasn't hard to do. You create one post, copy it over, and then I can dimension everything exactly where I want it. So just trying to get that set up. But yeah. So anyway, just thought I'd point that out. Okay, back to Chief. We're on number 19. Add stairs and ramps to the library. So have you ever gone through the trouble of creating a stair, and you put all this work into creating the design, the number of treads, risers, the way it looks, the balusters, the newels, and 3 months down the road, you go, I want to use that stair again. Which plan did I do that in? Of course, if you're me, I don't remember. So now you can take any stair that you create and put it right into the library. So, which is really nice. And you're not going to create, so if you're creating a stairway that, is like a U-shaped stairway, you're not adding the U-shape.
Whoa. How'd you just do all that?
Do what? Oh, that's secret, man.
Fast little staircase you set up right there.
Well, yeah. Well, wherever the landing is, you click and put the landing in. So, okay, I'll explain it. So I drew a stairs going this way, and then I drew some stairs going this way. And as long as you click where the landing goes, so you have to have the stair icon highlighted, and you just click where the landing goes and it puts the landing in for you. It'll automatically put it.
And it broke in between where you had a gap there as well. Right?
Yep, and it turned the railing off there, or did it? Let's see. What did it do?
I don't know.
It should be on.
Yeah, it is on. So, but this platform, this landing is a CAD box that I can control the railing on every edge of it, or all the edges at once, using this icon here, or by opening the dialog and going in, turning off the railing, has railing apply to all edges. So kind of cool how this works.
There's no add newel on the railing, right?
I don't know. I don't think so, because we can't select. We can't select the railing. Yeah.
Right.
Nope. We have no.
But what you can do is break the landing.
Thank you, Kevin. I was saying the same thing, but I was muted.
I'm just your ventriloquist.
So what does that do?
It puts
Okay, so this might be.
Oh, just put a break in the line. It'll put another newel right there. Don't pull it out.
Yeah, you didn't.
Well, I guess my newels are kind of the same. So yeah, I guess that is bigger than that. Okay, so put a break where you want a newel.
How do you curve the inside walls, the inside corners of those stairs? Just the inside corners, like a more an older style where the railing curves.
Are
on
we
the
talking
inside
about the
corner.
landing area here?
Yeah. Well, yeah, in any set of stairs, right?
Well,
how do you curve that inside?
This is not a stair. This is a landing.
Right. So how do you curve those inside corners?
You do fill
Just
it
fill
on
it
there.
the inside corner.
Yeah. So set
Yeah,
your
if you
fill
hold
it,
your F key and
set
drag
your
that in,
dimension.
or that. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I
So
appreciate
we
that.
need to answer Aaron's question here. Almost forever. How long has it done that with stair landings?
Yeah, almost. forever.
For
Learn
version
something new every
2,
day.
version 2,
And then Mike has a question here. How does it? You need to go through the process of getting it into the library and stuff, so we can.
yeah.
See.
Let me
how
just
that-
close up some stuff here.
So if
I
you
just
leave automatic,
let me just point out
Uh,
too with stairs, it doesn't matter how your stairs are shaped. If you stairs continue and you need a landing between them, just again click between where the landing goes, and it'll put the landing in automatically.
If
So
you're doing an L-shaped stair and you overlap the stair there a little bit, it'll actually push them into the right place too. It'll push
Yeah,
'em up.
so if we're just overlapped a tad like that, and we put the landing there, see how it going to put it in the right place.
Whether you
I
like it,
always,
yeah.
I
just,
always dimension this exactly before I
Right.
put my landing in. That way I know exactly where it's going to go.
Right.
So
I just finished
anyway.
a project where those stairs did creep 6 inches into the other space, and I had to do that as built, and it kept pushing my stairs out to where they belong. I couldn't. So you have to do that.
Well, then you
Change.
have to do that. Just do it manually like that.
Right.
Of course, I don't know how we turn that railing off there.
Break it and make it a section.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, do the break. Do the break tool. Break it there. Retain it. See, did I need a complete break on that? I needed a complete break on that. So that's the tool where we hit break. Then we have to hit this icon right here with the C on it. That adds a complete break, which now I can change this whole step totally independent of any of the other steps in my plan.
So
I
you
can
can
turn-
take the railing off right there.
So I
now
can
you got to
turn
shift
the-
select it. You have to shift select it.
Do I have to shift select it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. To just do that one.
Mhm.
That's another little trick. So I could turn the left railing off. Now I have no railing on the left. Oh,
Or the right.
oh, I'm going up. Okay, so it should be the right railing. So shift select. I was thinking it was going up that way.
Yeah.
So we'll go that way. Now we just have railing on one. So turn the railing off on the landing and you'd be good to go. Turn that railing off there.
Someone will still fall to their death, but
Something didn't get connected properly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
How do we save it to the library?
just click on it and hit the library book icon.
But then you have to deal with Mike's question. When you save stairs to the user library, how does that account for different ceiling heights?
It doesn't
You
let you
can-
say anything or anything.
But you see
You
how
can
it,
still click your stairs and it will automatically adjust heights so long as you
Yeah.
don't change
you
that.
see it
specification.
when I added it to library, it didn't put in that whole stair. It just put in the
That
stair,
one section.
just a piece of the stair. When you want to create new stairs out of that style of stair, you just start drawing again, and now you'd be drawing with that, not the default stair that's set up in the
Gotcha.
program.
it's like a style palette for stairs only.
Bingo.
Yes.
That's a really good analogy of how that works. So good job, Kevin.
Nicely done.
All right.
Say, Dan,
Yeah.
I need to apologize to Aaron. I feel like I kind of jumped under question there, and I didn't handle that the way I should have. So anyway,
right.
I apologize, Aaron.
What happened? I missed some.
Yeah, me too.
I jumped under question and just said that it's been there forever, but we don't want to do that.
Oh,
We just-
yeah. Oh, John and I always have fun with that. We'll show people a feature and they go, how long has that been there? And we go, yeah, for like 30 years.
I'll tell you, as long as we're on
Aaron-
that topic, the part that's even more fun is when Dan says, well, how long's that been there?
Yeah, exactly. I do that too. It happens to all of us.
Yep.
And it's just part of the deal. But yeah, that creating a landing by clicking where the landing should go, that's been there for a long time. Now you got it. So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of function in this program. That's amazing. All right, add stairs, put the library corner shelves. That's just what they are. Pick on the shelf tool in the cabinet, pull down, and you can now click in the corner and do corner shelves. And then you can click on that and open its dialog and tell it to be an L shape or diagonal front. And then
Nice.
you can stretch it out. So that's helpful. I mean, it's another little feature that we don't have to mess with when we want to create corner shelves. Instead of using 2 shelves, you use 1. So it's all of these tools work that same way. All the base cabinet full, you click in a corner and it's going to add that corner cabinet. So all of these tools work that way. Now the soffit always has worked that way, and the shelf works that way now too. I'm surprised it took them so long to do that.
If you double click your shelf tool, does it give us the ability to change that corner to not a diagonal as a default?
Oh, under defaults for cabinets, let's look. So yeah, I could have just double clicked on the cabinet tool. Can I shelf? No, that's locked in. It's always going to start as diagonal. It looks like I can't click on that.
They really should change that. It should always start as a pie shape and then become a diagonal later.
Well,
Yeah.
same
I
with
thought they
all of
did.
them.
What's that?
I thought
What
that
was
they
that, Renee?
did. If you
No.
click on the one that you made that is an inside corner, can you set it to default now?
I don't know. Let's find out. No.
No, we can't. Okay.
Yep. I bet I can't do that with any of the corner items. So let's click on a cabinet. No, I can't set that to default either. So only if they're in the middle of, straight on the wall, then you can change them and set them as a default using this icon. That would make it the new default in your plan. So everything you add would be that now. Good question, huh? I suppose it'd be tough, if you stretch something out real goofy like that, and you're just confusing the program more than they want to be confused if you make that the default. Because really the default is, well, I guess it is about the style, but it's also, it is about the size too.
Do this. Can you do this? Can you place a corner and then make it L-shaped?
Corner shelf?
And then, yeah. And then if...
Now, can you make that default? No.
No, we can't.
No.
We could add it to the library. So
Now, if you set it back to none, make it the default, and then try to place it again, does it become an inside corner? It does. So you'd have to place a corner shelf first. So just open that. Make it L-shaped. Okay, press OK. Now bring it towards the middle of the wall.
Well, yeah, it maintains it.
Now turn it off, open it up and say none.
Well, that'll make it a flat shelf again.
Now make it default.
Okay.
Now use the shelf tool to auto place a corner. Is it an inside corner?
Let's find out. By golly.
Wow.
You did it, Renee.
Good job.
Okay,
Yeah.
what was the step, Renee? What was the
All right.
step after make default?
Kind
What
of
was-
convoluted, huh?
No, Renee,
Why
what was
would
the
it
step
hold that
after
setting?
default? What was your step after make default?
After
Okay,
make
so-
default, just place
let's
it.
do it from
Then just
press
move it.
cabinet.
Okay, then place. Okay.
So if
Actually,
I look at my defaults now, they're still not set to either or. It's still set to none, but it did hold that corner.
But now when you, okay, so now when you take, can you put a new shelf into the corner? Is that
He
what you
did.
just did?
I
Yeah,
just
he
did,
did.
yeah.
Okay, got it. I was writing it down at the same time you
Okay.
were saying
So-
Does
the
that,
rules.
will that hold across sessions? Does that actually make a permanent change, or as soon as you come back into
No, I
it?
mean,
you
you'd have to commit it to your template.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering. Yeah. So if we, let me just. put
Renee,
this
so that will
in.
work in a corner cabinet too, so we don't have to deal with those angle
Yeah.
cabinets all the
Mhm.
time. Got it.
So if I close this session out, get out of Chief, and we come back into it, and I open that plan, will it still do a corner shelf? Let's find out. Look at that.
Look at
Renee.
that.
You nailed it, man. All right, cool.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
So you created the L, you pulled it away, you made it none, and then you made it the default, and it held that L shape for some reason.
That's funny.
You could probably do that with your cabinets, all your base cabinets, soffits, and everything else too. So
Yeah.
it's a nice option. I like that. That's cool.
I always want to know is how did you figure that out?
Yeah.
We don't, that's hours of time.
Yeah.
We're not even going to go there.
Did it really, wait, while we're still there for just a second, did it really matter that you made it none? Was that step actually necessary?
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay.
But it
Did it
works,
even
so we're
matter
going to
to
deal
put
with
it
it.
in the corner?
Yeah, good
Okay.
point.
Well, let's not dwell on it. Just real quick, you want to make more of those? Let's go move. Let's
By
go
the way,
make let's
this
go make
happened
6
tonight.
more copies, and we're going to space them all out at 12 inches apart. So I hit transform replicate, this icon right here, and we're going to space these out all at once. So 6 more copies, 12 inches apart, but we're going to go down. So we need to put a minus in front of that 12 and click OK. See the Z right here? That's see this little thing right here. That's the way we want to make our copies. If you wanted to go Y or X, you just look at the other ones. Click OK, and there's your shelves. So you could also do that by dragging them using the multiple copy tool. So if you can get to the 4 handles, get to the multiple copies, set your multiple copy. You want to evenly distribute 3 or however many, and then do it that way too. Oops, I missed. So we're going to hit multiple copy again. Why is it not working?
It's not going
down.
You get
Why is
it
it-
It's only going
I'm,
side to
I'm
side.
grabbing the wrong button. I'll bet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to get this handle right here. That's the handle I need. There we go. Now we can do it.
Nice.
Anyway, lots of ways to make copies. All right, let's keep moving on. We got 2 done so far.
We're going to be on this for a while, you guys. But
Sorry.
okay, we're learning. We're all learning.
build framing panel, which is really cool now. So whenever you click on the, where's it? Right here. No, where'd it go? Right here. Build all framing. Okay, no, that's not it. We want to have this one. Right? Yeah. So we want to click on this first one. This one just builds all the framing.
Built all the framing.
That doesn't open a dialogue. Okay. So we want to choose what to build. What we used to have to do, we used to always click this menu. And then we had to click through each floor and then find what we wanted to build and click on what we want to build and click on what we wanted to build. It was really a pain in the butt. So this makes it really easy. So I want to automatically build all of these, or maybe I don't want to do my walls and roofs. I just want to do those things. And they have added they've added separate for ceilings now, finally. So now I can do ceiling framing all by itself. That always used to be where we had to build all framing to do ceiling framing. And it's like, so now we could do it per room or the whole plan, just the ceilings, which that finally encompasses all the things we need to frame. Ceilings were missed up until this version, which was always baffled me why they didn't put that in there. So, but they got it. So we're good to go now. So that's a nice little setting. So again, just click on that one. I wonder if that's that part here too. General framing. Yeah, this is where you would set your defaults. So never mind. Okay. Truss direction lines. So when you
No, flat header. You missed 22. Flat header.
I missed flat header. Heaven forbid. Okay, so sometimes you're going to have walls in your plan that you don't need a header above them. You know, any kind of a structural header. You just need a plain old flat board to nail your trim to. There's no support involved. So if I were to click on that door or window, open its dialog, and we go to the rough opening tab, the framing tab, you're going to have the ability to specify what kind of header you want to use above that door or window. And we could call it a flat header. So it's now going to be it'll be 2.5-inch flat headers, whatever the thickness of the wall is. So this is a 2x4 wall, so there'll be 2x4s, obviously, because the thickness of the wall is determined by the wall type. So now when I click OK and I frame that wall, and let's turn the framing on here, and then I go look at it by clicking this button right here, open the wall detail. There's your flat headers right there. Okay, would have put a third one in. So it put that in plus a third one. That's weird.
Yeah.
So just something to be aware of. Another little thing they added in X16, which is kind of nice. So you might be working on framing, and you decide, oh, you know, I need to change something. If you click on any item in this view, you can now rebuild the framing for that item, for that wall or roof panel or anything that you've clicked on. So I can rebuild the framing for that item now. So that's really handy. So I don't have to go out of it. I don't have to go out of this view, click on my floor plan, rebuild the framing, come back into this view. I can just do it right here, which is really nice.
Dan, just the other day, I ran into a situation where I ended up rebuilding the framing in this roof multiple times as I worked through a design, because if you lay the framing out for a hip roof with a clipped corner, it chooses very strange things for the framing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some of the framing would not align, even opposing, even on the opposite side of a ridge, so that sometimes it was 18 inches, sometimes it's 16, sometimes 24, whatever it happened to decide. So could I have clicked on that and it would have rebuilt the framing correctly that was not? Or is it just going to mess it up in a different way?
It's going to rebuild all the framing in that object.
For that entire roof plane or for the entire roof?
For that entire roof plane.
So it should have made corrections to it if that tool does what.
Yes. So yeah, again, you just click on the item and reframe just that item, not the whole. Oops, wrong icon. You don't want to use this to rebuild that. That would build the whole plan.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. I'd learned something new today.
All right. Hey, we're on a roll.
Can you answer Aaron's question here? Is there a way to freeze custom framing so it's excluded from rebuild command?
For walls, yes. Roof, let me address that in just 1 second here. What am I doing? I'm making those gables. For walls, and anytime you put framing in a wall, like I changed the framing in that wall and I want to make sure it doesn't ever change, you open the dialog for that item and you go to structure and you go to retain wall framing. Okay, once you do that, you'll notice that now when I click on that wall, I don't get a framing icon anymore. I can't rebuild the framing in that wall. And if I did the framing here where I built all my wall framing, it would not redo the framing in that wall. So yes, you can lock that out. For the roof,
yeah.
Go ahead.
For the wall.
For that wall, yeah. For the roofs and floors, I don't think we can do that. If we're going to rebuild all the roof framing, it's going to rebuild all the roof framing. What I generally do is, you know, depending on what I'm working on, I might just frame one roof panel at a time. So let me just go build the roof here. And, you know, so if I want to just frame this roof plane or both of these, I could do that independently of all the other roof framing in my plan. So that works really well. That's just something to keep in mind.
Oh, that's really good.
So, so when I'm doing room additions and things like that, I'm not going to frame the whole house. I'm only going to frame the new stuff. So now if we do this next truss direction line, so Chief does have a girder line now, which is, where's that? I don't even know. It's probably under the roof tab. Oh, roof purlin. That's a new icon, isn't it? You can add roof purlins manually. Cool. Girder truss line. So if we put that in, let's say we put, I want to have a girder here because I'm going to open up that wall. So let's, you know, so I'm going to take this wall out and I need a girder to support that whole section right there. So I could do a girder line there. And so when I build that roof framing now for these two roofs, and I've marked the roofs as trusses. Okay, so that's important. You can do roofs, trusses, or rafters for the entire plan. And then independently, you can click on roof planes and say, well, I want this roof to be rafters. And I want my other roofs to be trusses. So you can turn it on and off for the different roof sections that you're working on, which is really nice. Because then if you do build the whole plan at once, whatever you call rafters will build, whatever you call trusses will build. And then we click OK. And I'm going to go ahead and build my framing and see how I put the girders there. And let's say that, this, you wouldn't do this, but let's say I want these trusses to go this direction. Then you put a joist direction line in. I think that's what it is. And then I could get the trusses here. Let's see if that works. I'm not sure if that works or not. No, it didn't do anything. They showed something in one of their videos about how you could switch directions. I think it was joist direction, or was it girder? I don't remember. Let's see, custom framing types. I don't remember, but you could switch directions. Let's try this one. Oh, roof truss direction. There it is. Not the joist direction, it's roof truss direction. So if I want these trusses to go that direction from that girder line that I drew, these will go that way and then these will stay that way. So you can switch the directions by doing that. So if I click here and hit build framing, now, again, not that you would do that, but you could. Who knows why you would want to do that? Maybe that's the right way to build it. But you can do it now, so that's really nice. That makes sense. Any questions about that? 24 custom framing types. Anybody know what that means? I tried figuring that one out.
If you were trying to do like advanced framing or double wall framing construction, would that be there?
It's something to do with framing materials associated with framing materials. It made no sense to me. Rounded IC. I don't know. We'll skip past that one. One day I'll figure out what that means eventually. Maybe if you guys happen to know, let me know. Deck controls.
What did it say again? What did it say?
Number 24. Figure that one out, John.
And what's it say? I don't have the list in front of me.
It says add, remove, or modify framing material associated with framing materials. Define material composition like wood, steel, or concrete, and shape, rectangular, rounded, or ICUs.
Okay.
It made no sense to me. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to our deck information, because we got some cool things going on with that. So again, anytime you name a room a deck, it's going to put the deck framing in. So because I don't have a foundation, it put the deck framing on the same floor as the deck. As soon as I add a foundation, build foundation, click OK. And now it's going to put the deck framing on the foundation plan. So that's how that works. And then, so what we've got now in the deck room dialog box would be under the deck, we have the ability to, when we do a border plank around the deck, it's going to put the blocking in for that automatically. So if I say do 2 border planks, and I click OK, and then I go in here and I rebuild the deck framing using this build deck framing button. And so when I go look at this now, you're going to see it put that blocking in. So the 2 deck boards would be supported by the blocking. So that's nice. So now we don't have to do that manually. Even does the corners, which is, again, another nice little touch. I don't know how many times I had to go do that to decks to show that framing. More than I want to think about. The other thing you can do, again, you do it in the deck dialog box under deck support. You can edit the type of beam you want, lumber, what kind it is, how many beams there are. Let's see, where's the number? Where's the count? That is.
Well, it says member count up at the top.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. So how many beams do you want? Okay, you want 2. I want those to each be, not 3.5, but 5 or whatever size you want. So maybe you're using land beams that you're gonna wrap up.
You can see it. It just changed it. That's cool.
Yeah. So right there. I love this, how it shows what it's going to look like too. And then we can position those in different places. So, offset from the deck edge. I want the beam to be even with the edge of the deck.
That one's been a real problem to get that to behave, especially in a complicated deck, because it wants to force things to certain positions. And
yeah, sometimes you know, I like to just put the beam in with the floor decking. And I think, let's see, we can do that now. We go flush with edge, and then we're going to go with the joists. So now I can put the beam up in with the joists. So that's another nice feature I like. Or if you're doing, you know, you're doing a beam, you know, you're going to do a beam in the middle, and you want the beam to be up in the joist, and the joists hang from it. So now we could do that here with the joist and under the joist. So that's really nice. You can check out your deck post spacing. So if you want, you know, a lot of posts in your deck, you could do that. So it's going to put those posts spaced in whatever you tell them to be. There we got a lot of posts on the end, holding up a lot. So you got a lot more control over that deck spacing, which is really nice.
We have a few questions here about decks.
Mm-hmm.
How can we show the deck on both the foundation layer and the main layer? Could make
Show what?
The framing, or show the deck. Show the deck.
Well, you can use reference plans.
Right.
I'm not
Or
following.
when you draw a deck, it doesn't show up on the foundation.
Well, the framing will, but not the deck itself. What I always do for that, I always just take and again, I don't, or a simple way to do it, just draw some CAD lines, and then I'll just put them against the deck here. And then I'll just make those dotted lines. You know, it's a little extra work, but and then
Old school.
Then I'll just copy that and put it down below the deck by hold position. And so when I turn the framing off now, it just leaves the dotted line.
If you want to go new school, then Chief's reference plans come in really handy for that, because you can create a view that is only the components that you want to reflect through to the bottom floor, and then use that as a reference layer, and you can see things exactly as you want them.
Exactly. The thing I like about this method where I do the CAD lines is now I can dimension everything. So, so when I want to dimension all my footings into place, now I could do that just by, you know, adding a dimension line and, you know, dimensioning them where I want them to be. So that's partly why I do that technique. I don't think we could do that with a reference plan. I don't think we can dimension the reference plan itself. So plus you'd have to have, well, we'd have the reference here that shows the railing above. We would have to save that as a separate plan in order to reference just the deck part of it.
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, you wouldn't, because you just create a different view for that.
Create a different reference view.
Right.
For the deck. Okay. Yep. I get it. I get it.
Here's another question.
Yeah.
Is the warning message of deck over a room a bad thing?
Yes, it's a pain in the ass.
Well, the reason that Chief does that, so if I were to go down here and I put I built a room under here, okay, and I'm going to call that a, you know, whatever. It's going to be a room that I'm putting a non-deck room over that. Now, if you think about this logically, if I do that and that room down below is like storage and stuff, it's supposed to be watertight, well, that's going to be a problem because I have holes in my deck boards.
Unless you put a waterproof system underneath the deck.
Right. So you need to, so here's what you need to do. You would need to, you know, add a roof to that or something manually, put that in there. And then you would need to actually draw an invisible wall here and make that not a deck room, make that a balcony or something like that. Turn the floor off and still leave the deck boards and all that stuff. So you need to define a different space above that room below. And I generally, what I will do, like if I want my deck boards to be like this, but I'm going to have, you know, a ceiling and roof above and on that room below, I'll just leave the deck boards here. You can actually, I think, go into the room name deck and under general, you can say, where's that again? You can, there's a setting that if you turn the, where'd that go? If you turn the room name deck off, here it is, keep deck framing after the deck room is named. So now you could keep the deck framing, but name it something different. So name it a, you know, something else, and it should keep the framing there. So we'll go general and we'll name it a, you know, whatever, bedroom. Okay, it didn't keep the framing of the floor.
I think doesn't
No, that's
the
not what I do.
actually,
It did.
doesn't the
It-
message actually say you're building a deck over a non-deck room? So how about naming the deck below the room below a deck and just changing its components,
I suppose you
making
could do that
another
too.
deck style? So
I
it's got
suppose you
concrete
could
in
do
it.
that too.
I never thought of that one, John.
I've always thought of it, but I've never tried it. So
Well, it looks like it worked. Oh, no, that's still a bedroom. Let's name it a deck again. Well, they liked it.
If you name it a deck, though, everything that you do with regard to framing or anything else is going to treat it as if it's a deck.
you can make another deck type. You could take that room type deck and make another room type that you could put a concrete floor in it instead of framing.
Yeah, but I think at that point, you're still going to get the message because it's not going to treat it like a deck, the room below.
It's going off the room type. It's not going off it. It's
Yeah.
not going off anything else.
Now think about this for a minute. What John's talking about, the room name deck has always been there. You know, the room names when you hit edit, these room names have been there since version 1. Okay. And the idea is that these are your typical rooms that you're going to build off of. So the room name deck is always meant to be like, again, the logic behind it is it's going to leak through to the room below. You don't want that to happen. But if we went in here and we just said, we just named it, you know, room or whatever we're going to call it, and then we could go under structure and we could say, well, I'm going to put in, you know, I'm going to put in flooring with, you know, 2x12s, you know, whatever. So you could change this to be whatever you want, and that's what it would frame in that room. Then walls should frame just like regular walls, but now you've eliminated that hassle of that error message. So if we did a cross section through here. There's our deck. We got the deck flooring, but I could change that to something else. And yeah, that's a good solution, John. I like that.
You could also make another deck that's got a roof underneath it with sleepers, you know, with that whole system.
Yeah, so that might be the solution. We could even we could even name the deck. Well, I tried that before. We'd have to dig into that a little bit more. We don't have time for. Oh, Jesus!
Right.
Look at the time already. Okay. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know how you specify a deck railing type versus a non-deck railing type in terms of creating a wall type.
Well, I wonder if we create a straight deck railing.
I have never seen anything that designates one separate from the other.
I think that's built in to the system. It just knows. So when you use,
So the only way to designate something as that is you have to set it as default.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we could create deck railings of different types and then add them to the library. And I would assume it's still going to have the deck setting in it. So if I go down here and I draw with that now, where'd it go? Right here.
I've tried that. That doesn't seem to work.
Oh, hold on. Let me try it again. So I'm drawing with walls now. Yeah. Quit. Okay, let's try that again. So take a railing. We're going to make it into a library item. With a deck railing, here it is. I'm going to come back here and draw with it now. Yeah, I don't have that selected.
And so the question would be, does that make a deck room?
It did.
It did.
Yes. So you'd have to have separate railing folders, one for regular interior railings, one for deck railings. And so I think there's something hard coded into the deck railing itself. I've never seen a setting for it that says this is a deck railing versus this is an interior railing.
Yeah. So if you wanted to style this, you'd have to actually go in and do all the work to style it, being it that it exists as a deck railing first.
But make sure you do it with the deck railing.
Yeah.
Not the interior railing, straight railing. Yes, absolutely. All right.
Can you answer this question quick? How can you
Yeah.
can you add an AZEK rim to the deck instead of pressure treated?
Well,
There's
I've
a-
always done that manually.
Well, the mold polyline.
I mean, that's just kind of changing the material, right?
Yeah, I've always done that manually. Let's see here. Can we set that up in a way to do this?
You can
we
set
don't
the
have-
nosing of the decking. You can set the nosing of the decking to whatever it needs to be, so that it still goes over top of the AZEK an inch, and then just draw a molding polyline around the deck and put your AZEK on that.
Because you can in the railing, yeah.
Well, can't you do a
in the
rail?
railing?
also?
In the railing itself, you can have a double rim joist, so you can set that up to do a double rim in the railing, and then once it builds that you could name one of those. You could make that the AZEK material. I would half the time what I do is I just go Control C. I'll go Control C and I'll snap. Oh yeah, I'll turn that off. And just make that my 1/4 inch, whatever the whatever it is, and there's my edging that I could make whatever size I want, put whatever material I want on it. That's generally how I would do it. Now we also got the function where we can hit copy and we can hit reflect about, and we can now do it at a 45 without having to draw a freaking 45 line. So that's really nice too.
So if you want to get kind of crazy with this, is you can make a custom 3D molding. That's a millwork symbol that has your bottom rail with whatever rim board you want integrated, and you change the bounding box to just be the bottom rail.
Yeah, I have done that years ago. I did that with I want the balusters to come down over the side of the deck, or the balusters. Although we can do that now without any problem. So
I'm just going to guess that maybe 24 is about this kind of a thing where you're trying to take a particular component and create a structural layering of materials within that. Okay, well, I shut that down.
Not sure what you said.
It's not really obvious what that tool does. I mean, what that feature is.
The what feature?
Number 24, the one you were confused about. I was thinking, well, maybe that's what this is the ability to do stacked layers of different materials.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We're dig into that. All right, so we're about out of time again. Let's talk about 3D dimensioning quick. And it's there you go. So I just added my 3D dimensioning. This is really cool. I haven't used it much yet. Have you guys used it at all?
No.
No?
I like the auto story pole. The 3D dimension story pole is pretty cool.
They were so close last year when we were out there, and I was working with that guy on the 3D story pole stuff. When you rotated the house and the lines became there where you just passed and you can no longer see the line, it automatically flipped to the next
level.
It was so cool. It's not doing it anymore. They must not have chosen to implement that.
I think it's an option to set, maybe.
I don't know. I didn't see it as an option.
Yeah,
but you can spin
that makes a nice little presentation.
Oh,
it does. Yeah.
Oh, I want to note something. Will you go into edit the active view? If you have your AMD Fidelity FX set to 2.0 instead of the native resolution, the super resolution there.
One more down.
This one?
Yeah, if you have that set down to performance, because maybe you're on a Mac M1 or M2 and you set that down to performance because you're trying to get performance out of this, the lines are actually rastered image based, the text lines in 3D text. So potentially you won't see the lines in those modes. So just keep that in mind. You might have to raise, if you're doing a ray trace, you might have to raise the sample rate to get those lines to show up. Yours are nice and bold. Great.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we're out of time, so we didn't make it very far again.
I'm going to add one more plug.
Please.
I have forums on my website.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Why don't you show it real quick, Renee?
I'm not set up to. Would you mind going to show it on your screen?
I can. I haven't subscribed yet, so.
That's okay. You should still be able to see it.
Okay. So let's go over there. rabbitdesign.net.
Yeah.
Rabbits, RABBITT. Forum. There's a whole big button for it.
It's a huge button.
Huge button
Can't
for
miss
it.
it.
Yeah.
Can't miss it.
So that'll give you the opportunity to join Renee's forum that he set up on his website. So looks like you've got it. You've got it going there, buddy.
Yeah.
Nice
Nice.
job. Nice
So
job.
check it out.
Looks
I know
good.
you've just put a ton of work into this. I know. So.
Oh, and if you click the little head there in the corner, bottom right-hand corner.
The other head.
Okay.
And, it might take a little bit of practice, but that'll help you write some Ruby script for Chief. It's got a very custom instruction set from me to help. This is what I use to script all my macros.
Interesting. I was just working on a Ruby script yesterday that I was bringing in from ChatGPT, and it's not Chief specific. So you've tailored this one to be Chief specific?
Yes, very tailored. This is, it's
Very nice.
probably 1,000-word instruction set.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to have to try it on what I was working on yesterday then.
Yeah, so it takes a little bit of know-how. I'll put some videos in this forum to help describe how to use this and make it work perfectly.
Very good. By the way, guys, the forum is free.
Yeah.
And then Renee, you do have some paid sections for people that buy some of your products.
Yes, I do. If they register with their product, they've got a particular section where they can share it.
Yeah.
Share their stuff.
Check it out, you guys. Yeah, this is awesome. Nice job, Renee.
Yeah, that's
Well
great.
done.
Well done.
We got one more question.
Okay.
Let's answer this one for Aaron quick about
Okay.
story poles off the grade. It's under defaults for the story pole.
That would be under default.
Should we tell Aaron that we've had that for a long time too?
Yeah, we should.
Sorry.
It's,
Aaron.
Sorry, Aaron.
Where am I going, John?
Marker form. Locate objects.
Look at objects. No, locate elevations. Right there.
Yeah, right there. Grade
First
level.
floor or grade level. You have to put in the number that it's going to be, the difference between the grade level and the house. But
So,
that's where you would.
so in this case, if the grade is higher, I would put in relative to the first floor subfloor, maybe 5 feet. And that would put that. I probably have to redo the
Right,
story pool.
It's the buttons there that you want to look at from grade or from first floor.
I don't
Whichever
have,
one is checked there, it's going to make that one 0.
it would help to put grade in my plan, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then, but now you're getting it.
So, did it do it?
Nope.
Do I need to redo
Are you doing
my?
a story pole? Is that an auto story pole?
Yeah. Yes.
Delete that.
No.
What's it missing? What am I missing here?
It didn't grab
What
that.
did you have it checked at? Go back to the defaults.
Under dimension, auto story pole dimensions. I've got 60 inches. Does it need to be minus? Elevation reference grade level marker, first floor, subfloor. Maybe I need to do that.
First floor, subfloor
No.
should make. No, you should have had it right the first time. If you want the
Yeah.
grade to be 0,
Yeah.
you should have had it right the first time.
Hmm.
Do an elevation camera instead of a 3D.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me try that. Get a camera in straight, maybe. There we go. Auto story pole.
Nope.
No.
What are we doing wrong?
Well,
Well,
Oh, no.
So there you go. It hasn't been there forever.
No, it has been there for a long time. It was,
Yeah, I know. I don't do a lot of story polls, so I don't really.
and I usually just do them from 0 or the floor. So
There. Oh, hold on a second. Was it there? Yeah.
Oh,
Is
here
that it? Grade level right there.
Put grade level in now. So I did put a minus number in. So I had to tell when you do the terrain, you don't put in the where'd my train go? You don't put in minus. You put in the separation between the top of the train and 0 on the the subfloor on the first floor. So there's a positive number, but in the call out I put in minus 60, and then it put it in the right. It put the grade thing in the right place. So that makes then top of slab minus, so that okay. So that makes sense then. So the top of subfloor is 0 now. That's right. Okay, so that makes sense. And then what else did I have set?
Erin's reminded me back in 2022 at the summit, I helped her figure this out, and we actually put in the actual mean sea level, and it populated everything correctly.
Nice.
I don't know how we did that.
Okay, so now I switched this up and I put, so from grade is 0 now, because what I did differently was I went in here and I put, I still have the same minus 60, but I put grade level marker, not first floor, subfloor. So now the terrain becomes 0. Okay.
Put in 224 feet there and see what happens.
Okay, I could do that.
Mike has a lot of energy.
He does.
Mike up to.
He's wanting a 24-hour Zoomathon.
And now go change the distance between the terrain and the house to like 226 feet. Or minus 226 feet.
Well, then I would need to add contours, wouldn't I?
No, it should, just to see if it brings the grade.
Well, it's going to put the terrain, a long distance away from it.
Right.
Which is
anyway,
fine.
I think it was along those lines we messed with it. So
Okay.
if anybody's
So-
interested, I could work on it and present it some other time.
Yeah. Again, I just don't do many of these, but here it's got the right numbers in that we've been messing with.
Right.
Well, Erin's on the California coast, so is that why she needs sea level information? Because if you're working right on the coastline, you probably have to show that.
Probably.
They have to put their finished floor heights and stuff in at sea level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
That
that
makes
does make sense.
I got to take off, guys.
Renee,
Yeah.
take care.
Have a good time, Renee.
Me too,
See you later.
everybody.
We'll see you next
Bye.
time.
Sorry, Mike, you're going to have to go on without us.
I'll have to go back and read those notes. What did Mike say?
Let's do a 24-hour
Oh, no, cheap marathon. Oh, yeah.
marathon.
I did that once. I did an all-day marathon once. That was kind of fun.
Well, see, Mike, you just need to come to the summit because Renee doesn't sleep. So you pretty much get 24 hours.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, for a long time. So come to the summit.
Yes. All right, you guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. I'm going to be gone, but Renee, I think we'll skip ahead a little bit to go to, we're pretty close to it anyway, but Renee's going to talk a lot about rendering the next time.
And we are not doing a summit we're not going to do the show on July 6th.
Oh, that's right.
Or July 5th.
We're going to move that out
next
we're not doing it on the 5th. We're going to move it to the
12th.
The 12th. Correct. And then we'll end up having another one pretty much right after that, I guess. So,
but I think with all that's left of the rendering stuff, it's probably going to be 2 more sessions. So rendering for 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. We'll do that. And
Cool. Well, I hope that
Go.
some of this was helpful to you guys, and please send in your questions. Oh, Mike, you had a question about adding a keystroke to open a symbol, and Renee just left, and it's like, dang it, I was going to ask him about that myself. I know you can add icons to place symbols in your plan, but I don't know if you can create a. Can you create a keystroke to, like place a toilet, for example, from an icon? I don't know. So we'll have to check on that for next time. So sorry about that. And if anybody else has questions for the next show, let us know. Just drop me an email. You guys take care. Have a lovely week.
Have a great week.
Have a
Happy
wonderful 4th
when
of
it comes up.
July. Yes. And then we'll see you after that. So I will be actually be on that show then, I believe. So we'll see. But anyway, we'll talk about rendering next time. Okay, guys, take care.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Take care, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.